hear that? That's the sound of money. You wanna know what the sound of money is? That's it. Ching, 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 ching. Ching, 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 ching. I had 20-some homes at that time. Started that when I was in college. And it was funny, my mom actually said, you need to buy a rental property and make money. And I looked at her like, you're nuts. I have no money. I'm in college. I have no job. I mean, you know how it is. You work a little part-time job, whatever. I'm like, you're nuts. I said, are you going to help me? And they go, no. And I said, well, how's this going to work? And she said, well, you'll figure it out. People always ask me, they say, how did you get this laundromat so cheap? And then one of the things that happened with the very first laundromat was I basically found a rundown laundromat that the owner had given up on, and they were just really done. And so if you find a deal where you find a property where people have just given up and they're done, they've lost the love for it and they want to move on, you can usually get a very good deal, a very good property for a very cheap price, because they've let it run down, and that hurts it, you know. Like a laundromat and car washes, even mini storages to a certain extent, it's hard for people to ask really big amounts of money for them because they don't keep track of the money, because it's all cash. So they really don't have any things to show you. Like when I bought the laundromat, I asked the lady, did it make money? And the realtor came back and she goes, yeah, it makes money. Well, that doesn't really help me much. I mean, they're not even telling you anything. They had no numbers, they had no sheets, they had no profit loss, income sheets, nothing. I mean, they had no way of proving to me bank statements, tax returns, nothing. When I bought this first laundromat, I basically took it on that I was buying a building and getting the laundromat for free because it was so cheap. My wife and I figured, well, you know, if this laundromat fails, we'll just go ahead and rent the building out as a retail space or storage or something. We'll still be able to make money. So that was kind of a peace of mind, you know, but when we fixed it up, we realized it was making money. We realized it was making more money than the lady realized it was making. But what had happened was she had somebody in there changing it out that wasn't her, and if you don't have real close, they're going to skim money. It's just going to be too big of a temptation for them. And so that's one of the things that can happen on a property like that. Now I only deal with about 3 different ways to acquire property. Before I had money, now like this property, it didn't cost a whole lot, but let's say you had to buy a $300,000 laundromat. How, as a young person, just starting out, do you even get a $300,000 or $400,000 loan? Well, a lot of times on a commercial property, you got to put down 20, sometimes 30%, just depending on the bank or the deal you can work out with a broker or whatever, and what your credit is. So in those situations, if you don't have a whole lot of credit and you don't have a whole lot of money, you're going to have to do a trade-up. And a trade-up is where you buy a smaller property that makes a little less money, but it's also a deal that you can afford to get into. You can actually pay the 20% down. And then after you get paid down a while, then you go for a bigger property. That's a trade-up. You keep trading up. Just like guys, you see that horse trade and bargain with equipment all the time. You know, they're always constantly trading up. Like me, I got that skid steer, I had the dozer. I'm constantly trading up to another level of equipment. That's one way to do it. Another way is if you have something paid off, you can use the equity as leverage, and you don't have to come up with the cash. But you want a laundromat on a busy street. By having a laundromat on a busy street, what it does for you is it's free advertising. So when you're buying a property like a business or anything else, one of the rules you want to go by is when they talk about location, they're not kidding. You know, you being on a busy street as opposed to a back street can make or break a business. It really can, because people are creatures of habit. They're creatures of being easy. If they drive by and see it, they're more likely to use it than if they have to look it up. So just like the laundromat, I like them being on a busy street where they're near the customers that are going to use it, because otherwise, you know, you're going to have to advertise a lot and hope that people come to you. So when you're looking for a business and you see one on a main drag or whatever, that's a business you should go for. You thought it was just one garbage can. There's three. Three full garbage cans. That means we made some money. There's no garbage, no money. Kind of like supply and demand. Garbage is a direct relation to money. More garbage in the laundromat, more money in there. Three things in a business you need to do is you need to keep it safe, keep it clean, and keep it nice. Like, keep everything updated. Customers want that. Just like YouTube, people want quality videos. They don't want garbage. They don't want something that's not entertaining. You go to a laundromat, you want to be satisfied. You don't want to think you're just throwing your money away. You don't want to go in and think it's dirty. You want a nice place. So when it comes to these laundromats, that's one thing. If you're going to own one, you got to keep it up. And there's a lot of moving parts. You know, I keep talking about the moving parts, and I'm serious. One of the reasons I'm successful is because I'm able to do a lot of this work all my own. If I had to hire every little thing done all the time, that would cost me. And a lot of people that get into this, they don't realize that. They don't realize that the service companies are going to charge you through the yin-yang for this stuff. So, if you're handy and you like working on stuff once in a while, you don't mind a challenge, it's probably a perfect business for you. But if you want to sit back and not have to do nothing, and you're going to have a loan when you buy this property, then it's probably not the business for you. Because you're not going to be able to, if you have a loan, you're either not going to make any money because you're giving it all away and you're waiting for it to return on the loan. Every day, you want to try to make sure that your customers are somewhat happy. If your customers aren't happy and they leave your establishment and they go tell people they weren't happy, guess what? You will have other people that are unhappy that have never even been to your establishment, but they're just unhappy. So the word of mouth travels fast. So in my laundromats, I try to talk to people, socialize with them. It gives me something to do while I'm cleaning. Sometimes I don't want to talk. Fine, then I move on. Some want to talk too much. And I got to get stuff done. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and they don't mind, and we just talk, and then when I go, I leave, and you might have one more customer out there preaching for you, saying, that laundromat's really nice, that guy's really nice, that attendant there was really nice. And that's the other thing, if you have an attendant in a laundromat, you will gain 10 to 15% more income, hands down. And the reason that is because people are going to go there and go, well, if a machine doesn't work for me, I know I can get instant service, I can get a fix right away, I don't have to call a phone number, hope they call me back, I'm out the money, I'm out my soap. Or if a machine doesn't unlock, which happens from time to time, you have that. So if you're lucky enough your laundromat's in a real busy area and you can afford that, that's a good thing to have. Now, the perfect person for a laundromat, in my opinion, after running 3 of them for, I think I've had them 12 years now, is somebody that's handy, that's a retiree, that needs a little side income, or wants a little something to do when they're retired. Like when I'm retired, I'm going to love my laundromats even more than I love them now, because I'm not the type of retired person that can go sit on a couch or go golf every day. So honestly, what my plan is a few hours each day, I'll go to the laundromat. I'll piddle around, I'll do stuff, I'll clean, I'll tinker, I'll change, check drains, check this. And it'll be a lot more fun than when I have to go to work from 9 to 5 and then come home and then go work on them, or work them on the weekends, which you don't have much of a weekend then. You know, I don't mind right now because that's sweat equity. I'm building up my equity. So, and I also have the luxury of some other people in my family help run them, so that it divides up the workload, you know.
Got a little bit of a filming technicality. There's too many customers. I really hate to be out there with them filming, because they're not like that. So we're not going to do that for the moment. So that sucks. That's a good problem to have, though. I'll show you this change machine. You can see what a real change machine looks like. If I get it open. Here we go. Alright, now this is the real change machine. Got double, see if we can get a better view of this. Got a double hopper, 1 and 2, and then you have 2 bill validators there and there. And what happens is if one goes out, then the other one keeps working. And that's crucial in an unintended laundromat. Now this is usually full all the way to the top, so it's down a little bit, but that's one day. So, and that's only half of it. I got the rest to go yet. I want you to see what a laundromat looks like that actually gets used. This was cleaned a little while ago. This is what it really looks like after they come through, and it's not bad down there. People do clothes. That garbage can's over full. This garbage can, damn near empty. That one, damn near empty. See what the bathroom looks like. I'm sure it's a disaster. That isn't bad. I don't know what they dumped in there. This just needs to be flushed. Not a prison issue. We build them like a tank. We build them like a tank so they can't tear the place up. Number one rule with laundromats, you got to build them so they're bulletproof. If you notice, number one thing I do too is these stainless steel dryers. We buy all stainless steel dryers. They can't, if they were painted, they'd scratch all this up and they get all dirty. They'd screw it all up, look ugly. These will last a long time. And look at these top loaders. You see scratches, dings, dents, scuff marks. That's all because the customers really don't care. They'll beat the shit out of it, especially if there's no attendant, just the way it is. Somebody's coming in, so this is what it looks like though before we clean it up. I mean, a laundromat in a good location makes a lot of money, but you got to be on a busy street. That's a busy street. This is a good laundromat. My other two, the streets are a little, ADT is a little lower. The average daily traffic's a little lower, so those laundromats generate a little lower amounts. Perfectly what we expect. I'll kind of walk you through the back of this place. This is the power. It's 480 3-phase. You can see there's a timer up there, and there's another timer right here. We got parking lot lights and we got the lights in the main area. Now, this laundromat isn't set up as well as the other one that I built, but in here, this box, this is a timer for the doors. So basically this laundromat, it unlocks at 5 a.m. and it closes at midnight every day, all by itself. I don't have to do a damn thing. I showed you this before. This is the dryer room. Back here it's cold because they don't want it. These dryers suck their air in through here. Okay, and they pump it out through here, just like a home dryer, but this is a 10-inch pipe. All this wall is all open. Behind a dryer, they don't care if all this is open. They would actually love it if we would just rip off that wall, because these dryers have to suck in fresh air all the time to be efficient. So back here, it's like at the outside temperature. You go through that door and you're back into 69, 66 degree temperature. So you got to build this thing like a tank. You got to insulate it. The double walled insulated, everything's insulated up there. We leave nothing to chance, because if this wasn't insulated for these dryers into here, what we'd have is we'd be losing hot air, or the heat from these dryers would be running into that laundromat all summer long. And if we had them running that dryer heat in the laundromat all summer long, you have a hell of an AC bill. So that's what the back of this room looks like. Now all this stuff here is all our parts, and it's a mess because we're working on the place. But we're actually going to build a little room in here where we store all our parts. And we put our camera for our camera system. It's all going to go in here and locked up. And then what we're going to do is blow this out. So all this is going to go in this little room. And that's going to clean that out more. Get rid of a bunch of this stuff. So now I have to go clean. And since there's customers, I can't take you with me, because like I said, it freaks them out when they see a camera. So here they are.